In 2004, we sailed out under the Golden Gate Bridge and headed south for full-time cruising. Well, it's been a whole bunch of years, and it's now 2013, and we've decided to make a trip back to the San Francisco Bay Area for our Back to the Bay adventure. These are the highlights, just the highlights from that trip. We trailered from a yard in Phoenix where we've been keeping the boat, stopping along the way. We take our time, take plenty of rest stops, and try to average about 55 miles an hour. We arrived at the gorgeous Napa Valley Marina and Boatyard. Really nice place. Once we were ready, they hoisted us off the trailer with a travel lift and then set us down on what they used to move boats around the yard with. It's a water dolly, or a dolly that goes into the water. And they put us on this lowboy because we were having a bottom job done. Bottom coating, which is supposed to last for 10 years. And it has to be temperature controlled while it's applied. So they backed us in to this shed, and then they heated the shed. Made for some comfortable living, they allowed us to live aboard. A new copper coat bottom. Right behind the boat, after we moved out of the shed, was a vineyard. How cool is that? Just before we put the boat back in the water with the new copper coat bottom, we scuffed it up with light sandpaper. And then they splashed us. Always keeps us on edge when they're floating our new home back in the water. Our newly reconditioned home back in the water. It was then downriver, and some friends, Rob and LaDonna, I've known Rob for over 15 years online, and this was the first time we got to meet in person. And they acted as our pilot as we went downriver, and invited us to their yacht club, which was right along the river. What a wonderful welcome we got at the Vallejo Yacht Club. From the Vallejo Yacht Club, we went out to a farmer's market and did some provisioning. Farmer's market and provisioning along the way is always just a lot of fun. We get to see and do all kinds of things and taste the wonderful treats of the areas. Then we were off to Treasure Island, one of our favorite anchorage places, almost in the middle of the bay, almost always protected and calm. It's changed quite a bit since we were there before. It used to be you could come and anchor for as long as you want, but apparently they've had a lot of trouble in the area, and now they restrict it. When you go to anchor, you have to call in, and you're good for 2 or 3 days unless you go up to the office. Once you get in the office, you have to fill out some paperwork. It's still free to anchor, but you're only allowed 20-some days, and then you have to leave for a while, and those are 20-some calendar days. So if we anchored there and then went away and came back, it didn't stop the clock from running. And then it was on to Strictly Sail Pacific. We always have fun at this show. Mostly we look at the goodies and talk to the authors. We don't actually go aboard many of the boats. The next was a highlight of the whole summer. We had a North Sea get-together hosted by the Oakland Yacht Club. I have to tell you, they are a wonderful yacht club in the area, and they always welcome North Sea folk there. When we went to go cruising, this little deckhand that you're looking at was just born. Now he's a seasoned veteran after spending a couple of years in Mexico cruising also.
There will be 2 more, but maybe one. What about one here and one there?
North Sea get-togethers are always well fed. This was a potluck on the dock.
Yeah, I do that.
Then up to the yacht club.
Did I tell you I talked to Sig at the boat show?
Yeah. And a wonderful dinner.
Adventure in Mexico and on the East Coast, right? And then we're gonna have Gray talk about things at work.
Yep.
And then we have, I don't know, some of you may know Alfie. He was with us at Napa.
Well, he was cruising. His house was rented out. He got called by the police to come back.
And we open up the door, and you go. It's burlesque. There's boas everywhere. There's snakes. There's tarot cards. It's just the weirdest place. But it didn't look like my house at all. But anyway, he looks around and he says, "So what about the fire pole?" So I had to explain that. I explained that it was strictly for sliding and not for dancing. Anyway, Mary Lee is now in Marathon, Florida. My wife and I, we sailed all the way down the East Coast. If anyone wants to talk about that, we'd love to talk more about that whole trip. But essentially, it's a very, very shallow coast, and that boat is the most amazing thing for that area because getting across things, we had no worries about going down the intercoastal waterway and other things where other boats were hitting the ground all the time. So,
in addition to our older charts that we keep aboard, we printed out some of the newer free NOAA chartlet books and use those for our paper navigation in addition to our chart plotter. Then it was back out to anchor for a while. Clipper Cove in TI Harbor. The New Bay Bridge. Supposedly they light it up at night, but we haven't seen it yet. And then over to one of our all-time favorites, Pier 39. Yes, I know it's a tourist trap, but I tell you what, we love it. We finally got to see the Bay Bridge light up. And then we sailed out the gate just to watch the sunset. It felt wonderful to be on the open ocean again. We hollered, "Free to navigate," because we could go in most any direction under sail and not worry about the shore. And back into another anchorage. Almost every anchorage in the bay, the bottom is muddy. So we use our chain scrubber to clean off the chain as we bring it up. What's the wind?
About 10 knots, I think.
Should have tipped me off right off the bat was, as we came down the channel heading in toward Pittsburgh Marina, on the port side was all of these wind generators. Now, that should have tipped me off that this was not going to be a quiet anchorage or a quiet marina to be in. The wind has blown every night we've been here. We pulled into the Delta Marina, into the guest dock, because we heard about this restaurant that's very well known for having a whole lot of, shall we say, animal heads, stuffed animal heads on the walls. So we're going to see if we can't walk up there this evening. Quite a peaceful little place. It was blowing like stink, maybe 20 knots on the outside channel. And we came through this short channel, and now it's nice and quiet, and Guenevere's sitting nice and happily.
Really first bite.
Cajun Festival, always one of our favorites when we lived here full time. Love them mud bugs and etouffee. Beignets.
I wonder what could be in here. Ta-da!
Let's try it.
Mike and Julie, very good friends of ours, drove on up to join us at the festival. You could tell they didn't enjoy it at all. Then we made it back out on the water. It was windy, and as you can tell from the charts, this is an intricate place to move around in.
Hi, and welcome to El Harbor Marina. We're a little bit friendly with animals.
So we wound up stopping at one of the most wonderful marinas that we've been into so far. And what's a real surprise is the things that they offer. It's like being with a family. They offer free bicycles for us to use while we're here. So you just borrow one, you can ride around here, you can ride over to the market or wherever you want to, bring it back and just put it back and you're done with it. So the place is called Owl Harbor, and it's tucked way away, very nice. Some of the other amenities that they have are a garden and eggs.
Let's go.
Let's go! Fourth of July, potato slough, bedroom number 2. California San Francisco Delta. As we moved up the river, we stopped at this marina.
See?
Oh, man.
Love barbecue.
Delicious, man, let me tell you.
And then on the dock, they were having a blues festival with live music.
Looks a little bow heavy.
Yeah. You never know what you're going to see as you go down the rivers or up the rivers. This is all the way up to Stockton, about as high as we could go on the river. They were having a kids' sailing camp. It had lasted, or was lasting, a week. The kids got to camp in one area, the parents had to be in a totally different area. What fun it was! During the last day, we stayed the whole time just because we wanted to. The kids were broken down into groups, and Cammie Richards from Pineapple Sails came, taught them how to make sails, and then they raced the boats with the sails that they made. Then we had to make our way back to Owl Harbor. And movie night at Owl Harbor. But first, a barbecue and potluck.
If the science means going crazy and stuff, then yes, we've got it down to science.
You guys put on a show.
I wouldn't expect it any other way around here, you know.
Then it was sadly time to head back up the Napa River, sail back up toward Napa Valley Marina, where our trailer was in storage. We went under a bunch of different bridges. It seemed like most of them, we had to call them on the telephone. They didn't tend to answer the radio. Very interesting haul-out yard. Then back to Arizona.